Welcome to On The Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Good, Dave.
That's good, mate. Golden Slipper Day at Rose Hill. Fantastic day. Massive 5 Group 1s on the card. It's probably one of the best race days of the year, probably in the top 3 of race days for the year. And we better get straight into it, mate, because there's a lot to get through. The first Group 1 is obviously the Golden Slipper for 2-year-olds. A $3.5 million race, the richest 2-year-old race in the world, this one is, mate. And who do you like in the Slipper this year, mate?
Dave, I think Darley have got a huge hand in this, as always. I really like the look.
Godolphin, you mean, mate?
Godolphin.
Okay,
Yeah. Like the look of the runner Haptic.
Yep.
He's unbeaten in 2 starts. The form around him's good. He's got very good tactical speed, so I think he'll be able to use the barrier.
Drawn 3, yeah.
Drawn 3, yeah. So I think he'll be able to use that, either lead or position himself right there. And in his couple of runs to date, he's been pretty strong at the finish.
Yep.
So I think that's going to help. His stablemate Furnaces ran a really good second to Vancouver. Vancouver was impressive, but he still ran second to him. And Vancouver's drawn the car park. So I think on that, if you tie in the form, that's saying to me a Haptic around the $16 is a each way bet to nothing. So he's on the bit for mine.
Good addition to the Gold Slipper. I think Main Hope's drawn awkwardly, which makes for an interesting race. Vancouver was outstanding last start, but faces a tough task from barrier 15. He lobbed outside the leader last start when he dominated, but there was only like 5 in the race. I just think he might get caught 3 wide here unless Tommy Berry pushes him on to try and cross the leaders, but that could be suicide. As you pointed out, Haptic is going to push up. Yeah. There's a lot of very quick horses inside him, and he'll have to push hard for at least 400 metres if he wants to cross them. And I just think he's a risk if he tries to do that. So unless he gets cover 3 wide, that's a big if, and I'd probably need to lay him based on those circumstances. I like the Godolphin horses as well. Exosphere was the one that I really liked. I thought it was explosive last start. Again, I think the 1200 metres will really suit his style of racing. He'll probably settle worse than midfield though. He's going to come into about 8. He's going to give him a start. So, but I just want to be on him because I just think he's got the X factor that can win Golden Slippers. The only question mark I've got is a long road, and he's had 2 starts and 2 wins on soft tracks. And the long road breed tend to like the soft tracks, and I don't think he'll be a soft track on Saturday. But I still think he's the measuring stick. I think the stablemates also, because they've drawn inside Furnaces and Haptic, are also going to push on, and obviously they're the ones that are going to make it hard for Vancouver. So I'm not saying they're going to ride as a team, but they're going to ride with a few tactics. I think the other Godolphin runner, Furnaces, is actually drawn to get a nice run behind Haptic. And he's the one that I actually thought he might have been the blowout horse at $15. So we're all around the sort of Godolphin one. So I'm on the bit with Exosphere, but you could go around those with all the Godolphin runners.
Definitely.
The second Group 1 is the $1 million George Ryder Stakes at weight for age over 1500, mate. And ripper of a race with the 3-year-olds adding some interest into this race.
Yeah, a lot of interest, Dave. Good races. It's a deep field. Didn't seem to be a hell of a lot of speed on paper to mine. I love the way shooting the wind maps. I think he's going to sit right there, box seat. I'll probably prefer that he actually went back, but because of the good gate, I reckon they're going to use it and they're going to go forward. He's going to have the weight allowance here. I think the current crop of 3-year-olds is really, really strong. And I think with that weight allowance, he's going to prove the measuring stick at the top of the straight when he probably kicks clear. He's going to be hard to pick up. I must make a special note, there's a few Japanese runners running at Rose Hill Saturday, and obviously their accomplishments previously have been first rate. There's a horse in this called World Ace. He was 4th in the Hong Kong Mile last start. That sort of form just wins a race like this. So whatever you do, you'd have to put him into your calculations. Yep,
I'm pretty confident about this race too. I like shooting to win as well. I think he gets a beautiful run right behind the speed here, and the speed probably comes from Cosmic Endeavour. He'll be no more than 2 pairs back. He's very fit after 2 first up runs. He looked like he was going to blow both races away at the 200 in these first 2 starts. but he just didn't. He just couldn't hold off Hello Crown in both runs. But I just think he comes into this race well as well. I don't think there's going to be huge pace on. He'll sit forward, and I think with 2 runs under his belt, he's really in this. I thought his main danger was Kermadec, actually, the other 3-year-old. He was certainly beaten in the Australian Guineas on the same day as Shooting to Win ran. He'll drift back to midfield in this race. He's got Ryan Moore aboard, and he'll be pretty kind on him early, I'd imagine, and he'll get a cuddle mid-race. And I think if he can launch the last 200 and get to the outside, I think he's the hardest one for Shooting to Win to beat. I actually think it's a safe bet to back both of them because they're both 5 to 1, and you can still have a nice win on the race. But yeah, I'm on the bit with the 3-year-olds. The next Group 1 is the Rosehill Guineas for 3-year-olds over 2,000 metres, mate, and a small field but an interesting field.
Yeah, I thought it was an intriguing race, Dave. Question mark for me is whether Hello Crown runs a strong 2,000.
That's right, yeah.
If he does, because of the set weights conditions of the race, he'll just win on that. I think he should find some cover in the small field. There's a long run to the first turn. His form's been exhilarating. He's won, I think, 5 from 6. He's been really dominant, even though there's small margins. For mine, if he runs a 2,000, he's on the bit. Obviously, the Kiwi pair that have come across, there's a big watch because you've got to obviously tie them form in here. We don't know how that will tie in, but usually the Kiwis that come across with good Group 1 form over there usually run well.
They're fit, aren't they, when they come across?
Yeah.
Interesting, Hello Crown's using this race as a lead up to the Doncaster, so he's going to come back to the mile at Randwick, and that's normally good form for the Doncaster, but we'll talk about that later in a couple of weeks. I'm absolutely confident Sway Nessie is the race. This is the race for him to turn the tables on Hello Crown here. He's fallen just short in the first 2 meetings this autumn, but the 2,000 metres is the key here. And I just think it'll play into the hands of Sway Nessie this time. He's ridden by James McDonald. He just seemed to hit a flat spot over the rise at Randwick last start, and I think that he may have needed that extra run under his belt towards this 2,000 metres. He was only beaten 2 lengths in last year's Cox Plate, and the 2,000 metres just seems like a better track for him in Rosehill. For him, take $3 or $3.10 is on the bit for mine. The next Group 1 is the Ramvit Stakes over 2,000 metres at weight for age, and it's another $500,000 race. A small field with a battle of tactics, mate.
It is. Again, Dave, I'm putting the Japanese horse on top here. Can't discount him. Toes and Stardom. Every time they've come here, they've just about saluted. So what I've found is that their status is superior to ours. Not sure of Toes and Stardom's racing pattern, but he was a Group 3 winner in Japan last start over 2,000 on firm ground. He's by one of the best racehorses that the world's seen in Deep Impact, and he's doing a great job at stud. Tommy Berry rides. For me, like, it's probably not a race I'm really confident in, but I'll stick with the Japanese horse.
I'm a small field with a battle of tactics, and I can't see how they beat Contributor here really, because I think he's just likely to sit in 2nd and 3rd place. There won't be a lot of speed on early, and it'll be pretty much a sprint home. He's won his first 2 starts in Group 2 and Group 1 company over, I think, unsuitable distances for him, and he's stepping up to the 2,000, which is right up his alley. He's got the golden boy James McDonald on board, and I think James McDonald's in for a big day because most of my tips have been ridden by him. So he's in for a day out. I just think that the others that he's facing, his competitors are looking for the 2,000, but I just don't see how they're going to give him a start and run him down. So he at $2.25, I just think he's on the bit for mine. The final Group 1 is the Galaxy, a handicap race over 1,100 metres, and another really good race, pretty competitive, a lot of chances I would imagine in this race.
I'm pretty happy backing the horse at odds here. Sweet Idea at the 950. She was the winner of the Group 2 Missile over 1,200 last time in, beating Messine and Rebel Dame. She's won 5 from 8 first up, which is a great record, and never missed in 4 tries at the track. There's plenty of speed around her, but I think if she can lead or hold her place, I think the price on offer is great odds. She was very competitive in the spring also around Group 1 winners like Trust and August and Dissident. So I think that's pretty strong form, and I think she's pretty good mare and goes really good first up. So I think that's a great price.
I don't see how they can beat Rudbick in this race, to be honest. He was chopped out at a vital stage in the straight first up when Miracles of Life swept past him down the middle. She had all the momentum. He got going again and just got up for third. He just gets a nice card in this race just behind the leaders, and unless he gets into bad luck again, I just think he's in a great position to pounce on the leaders and win this race. On weight, he's very well treated, and as I said, looks to get all the favours. He's $6. I just absolutely love him. He's on the bit for mine. Stable news then, what's been happening, mate?
We had Malaguero win.
Yeah, good win.
Yeah, good win. He ran in a nice race at Yarra Valley, so he's won 2 from 3 this preparation after coming back from a suspensory. So credit to the Freeman stable, they've taken him along slowly and they've done a really good job. So I think they're looking towards a race at Mornington.
Cup day.
Yeah, Cup day onwards and upwards for him. Also, we've done a bit of work during the week with an Exceed and Excel colt that we're going to purchase privately. Exceed and Excel's got 6 runners in the Golden Slipper on Saturday, and we've got one at a really good price with a stallion's pedigree, so we're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, we'll give you some further details on that next week. We've got a few runners this weekend. Turfinator, he has his first start at Ararat today in a 1200 metre 3-year-old Super Vobis maiden. On his trial form, he's trialled really well. The last 2 trials, he'd be very, very hard to beat in this field. I think he's come up $4 as a fixed price early. I thought I might have got a bit more, but if we're going to have to take $4 for a winner, we'll take $4. Boogie Days, she's going to be scratched from Ararat today, and she's going to go to Kyneton on Sunday in a 1464 metre maiden. Finally looks like a race at a good distance for her that she can win. So she's had 2 runs, she's been encouraging first 2 runs, so she'll be right in it. She's drawn barrier 3 at Kyneton, you need to draw an inside barrier to be a chance. So she is a chance on Sunday. Long Mac is set to run at Sandown next Wednesday over 1200 in a benchmark 70. Noms are out, so we won't see the acceptances until Monday. And Charles and Charge will be scratched from Bendigo tomorrow, and then he'll run on the new track at Pakenham, they call it Racing.com Park, on Thursday. And apparently the service is fantastic out there, so he's in a benchmark 78 over 1400, so it'll be good to see him hopefully christen the new Pakenham track with a win.
Yeah, for sure.
Best on breeding league. How are we going this week, mate?
Yeah, Boogie Days, Dave.
You like Boogie Days?
Yeah. Purchased from the Melbourne sales by Dream Thoroughbreds by up-and-coming Siren Doomsday. He's a sire of a Group 1 winner in Press Day. She hails from a really good Ingham family. Boogie, who was a winner at 2 herself, is already the dam of the Group 2 placed Dorky. She's in turn of the dam of a stakes winner in Quidner. It's a family that just keep producing winners, so I'm expecting Boogie Days to break the duck on Sunday and win.
She'll go very close, yep. Value bets for me, Bendigo, race 1, number 9, Baron Archer. He's currently $7.50 in the opening markets. He might trim up a little bit because that's the race that Charles and Charge is in, and he'll be scratched. But I still think he's very good value in this race. A big track like Bendigo will really suit him. He ran well first up over 1400, and it was a really strong race at Echuca. And I just can only see him being improved by the run because he's a big gross horse, a lot of upside about him, and he'd be a lot fitter to handle the 1400 again second up. He's drawn out in barrier 15, but I expect him to just settle off the speed. He led last start, but I think he'll settle off the speed this week and be very strong at the end. I think he'll get off everyone to a good start for the weekend with Golden Slipper Day. So race 1 at Bendigo, Baron Archer. On the bit specials, Lenny. Who are we on the bit with?
On the bit at Rosehill on Saturday, race 2, number 1, Rising Romance. She's pretty short, but she's a very good mare. Ran second in the Caulfield Cup to Admiraki last year. She's got great form. She's drawn to get a lovely run near the speed. She won first up over 1500 in New Zealand, and then ran a very close second over 2000 in a stakes race. Cherry Right third up. There's $1.95 on offer. She's a lot better than the horses she meets. She's probably weighted accordingly, but yeah, she's the best horse in the field and she'll win.
I agree, mate. Rising Romance for me gives him a little bit of weight, but she should have won last year's Caulfield Cup. She was just beaten by a freak in a Maya Rackley. I don't know how he still beat her. He just launched the last bit. She's set for better races than the Randwick in a couple of weeks. Yeah, she's just on the bit for mine. She just wins. Off the bit, Lenny. Again, we're going strong with these, mate. Who are we off the bit with this week?
Gay's Horse, Vancouver.
In the slipper, mate.
Off the bit.
This is a big off the bit.
Yeah, $3.10 favourite. Barrier 18, that's all I say, massive turn off. 2-year-olds, for my mind, they need somewhere near the paint. This horse has been dominant, but only in little fields. He's basically, they've got to make a decision what they do here, but they're going to go back from the barrier. They're going to need a heap of luck, and at $3.10 with 16, 17 runners in front of you, I wouldn't want to be taking those odds. Like he's got a lot of things in front of him that he's got to sort of get over, and I think that's toxic odds for mine.
Interesting, the Waterhouse, Gay Waterhouse hasn't really been spruiking him either, so maybe she has a few questions over him. I'm off the bit with Rosie or race 6, number 5, Deep Field. Seriously, this horse is becoming a money muncher, I reckon. He was quite one-dimensional in the spring, leading throughout his races. However, this autumn, his racing style has been challenged a bit and he's come unstuck. On Saturday, he's out in barrier 16 as well. He's got some speedy sprinters inside him. It'll make it nearly impossible for him to cross. So based on his form this autumn, it would be hard to see how he's going to sit wide in this race and still finish off strongly enough to win. And really it'd be quite harsh. He only got beaten by a Group 3 sprinter last start and steps up to a Group 1. I'm just not sure if he's actually really good enough. Won't get my money again. He's off the bit for mine. So a fabulous day, Golden Slipper Day. Equal probably up there with Derby Day and Caulfield Cup Day. So hopefully you have a good weekend on the punt, and we'll see you next week. See you later.